everybody. Christian Plosica, VIP Mortgage Group. I am here with the one and only Anthony Billitteri from the Property Pros. We are in the lovely Giovanni's restaurant here in Lake Nona, Florida. We're going to discuss a little real estate, little mortgages, and of course, the pizza review. So Anthony, how the hell are you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you? It's been a little bit.
It's been a little bit. Cheers.
Couple months.
Cheers.
Good to see you.
All right. Mine's non-alcoholic, right? I think
Mine
his
too.
is a little bit, right? But everything's good. Just so we've been doing this thing, pizza review.
I saw that one you had hanging and dripping.
Oh my God!
That's good stuff.
It was like we say, forget about it. So you were telling me, hey, when we're going to do a pizza review. So I was thinking about, how do we incorporate the pizza, but also sitting down, having a good time, and just do what we do best and talk.
Correct.
So Anthony, first and foremost, I know you and I have a lot in common. I'm from Southern Alabama.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Birmingham, right?
Yeah,
Birmingham.
yeah. Tell everybody where you're from.
Well, originally Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, right.
Actually, Brooklyn, New York, and same place,
Yep.
Gravesend area in Brooklyn. Moved here when I was young, but definitely know my pizza. So pizza reviews might be my thing.
This is good, right? So this is the first time we've had a special guest with us. When I was asking myself, who do I call? And it was only going to be one person, and that was Anthony. Yes, we have a desire for good pizza.
That's it.
And sometimes bad pizza, it happens. But before we get to that, tell us a little bit about who you are, your company, obviously the Property Pros. Let everybody know where you're located and what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely. If you know Property Pros or you heard the Noah Pro brand, that would be me.
Hashtag Noah Pro.
Hashtag Noah Pro. A couple locations. We're an 8-year-old brokerage. Really
Excellent.
built on culture, family environment, big on training. A lot of our agents are homegrown. We're not out there trying to recruit the biggest agent out there. We like to train, build, and I guess you'd say build realtors for the long term. We're not looking at, what lead program, this, that. We're into farming. We're into being part of the community. Really just focus as what you really think a realtor would be. So, 8 years later, we grew from yours truly to we're sitting at about 100 agents right now. We should hit close to 200 million in sales this year.
Excellent.
It's our goal. We expanded into Tampa, which was a goal. And we'll see where the future goes with the name and the brand.
Well, first and foremost, that's fantastic, and congratulations and kudos to you, your hard work, the people that
Thank
you
you.
have working out there, getting out in the streets and helping you. We talk a lot about culture, family. When you are looking for real estate agents, what are some characteristics that you strive to have in an agent?
The biggest thing is commitment and accountability.
Right.
What we're looking to do is really take agents and say, are you farming? Are you picking up the phone? Are you calling? Are you knocking on doors to get your career to the point where it's referrals? So A is commitment. B, what I'm learning over the years, not everybody can do it.
Right.
Just like in the mortgage side, it's a business where, some type of sphere of influence is a positive. I just brought on a gentleman today, very well known in the community.
Excellent.
Very little real estate experience, but he's going to be a rock star. And that's what I look for. I look for people that are already out there doing different things within the community that it falls right in. Just change a little something. Now I do real estate. Hashtag Noah Pro when they're posting things like that.
And wouldn't you say, though, that's how it typically works out? It's like a lot of people just don't get into real estate as their first career. It's something that they grow into and sometimes even fall into.
Yes.
I fell into the mortgage business, was a teacher, and then never said to myself, hey, I'm going to be a mortgage guy.
Yeah.
It just sometimes doesn't happen like that.
I myself, I had no clue what I was getting into.
Right.
I was like a lot of other people. I put my license through a window based on pay plan. Here's my debit card for my monthly dues, and I couldn't tell you that broker's name today, 17 years later. So yeah, I'm like everybody else that I thought you call a friend and all of a sudden everybody's calling you to buy a house. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot behind the scenes other than opening a door for people. We're marketers. We're not salespeople.
True. So now the last 2 years have been crazy, amazing,
Explosive.
right? Explosive.
If I could put a word to it.
Absolutely. Describe to me what these last 2 years have been like.
Nothing like I've ever seen before. I mean, I started the business prior to the boom, so I was in it before '04, '05, and that was crazy.
Right.
And obviously we know what happened after that, but totally different market we're in right now. I think from your side with VIP Mortgage, you'll know that people qualify for these loans.
Right.
It isn't just, hey, do you have a 750 credit score, sign on it. They're qualifying. You guys are checking what's in the reserves, making sure that they can afford this. A lot of buyers coming from other places. So the last 2 years, especially with COVID, we've seen a lot of California, a lot of New York.
Yep.
And, my own personal opinion, which is small, but it's if someone's selling a house in Brooklyn, New York for $1 million,
Which is, by the way, probably like a 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom house.
correct, but if they purchased in the 70s in Bensonhurst on a $75,000 property that's worth
Brownstones.
1.2, correct, they're coming down going 450. Okay, we want it. What do you mean? We got to spend an extra 50 to get what we want?
No
in
problem.
paradise? No problem.
There it is.
I think that's a lot of what we're seeing. One time early in my career, I used to sell condo conversions. I used to travel the United States, and I remember getting off a plane in LA and going to Compton and picking up a book. And those houses with the bars were $350,000, $400,000. And I was like, never, it's unbelievable. But now look at what we're headed towards here.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I was just out in California last week. I was in LA, and I was seeing that as well. You see it on TV and these little houses on these TV shows, and you're like, wow, $800,000, $900,000 for that.
Yeah, but
it's like
legit.
it looked like a mother-in-law suite.
Correct.
But hey, that's the sign of the times.
Yes.
What got you into real estate?
At the time, I had a friend that's still in the business. Actually, I'll plug him. He was president of our Osceola Association of Realtors. Danny Hernandez came to my office where
Big
I work.
shout out to Danny.
Danny's a great guy. Wouldn't be here without him. And he came to my office. We've been friends for over 20 years and said, I got some friends that are doing this and that in real estate. Come do it. And I said, I'm good. I'm comfortable. I was pretty much single dad at the time.
Right.
I said, can't take that kind of gamble. Came back a couple months later. He said, we did this project. I made $250,000.
Wow, that was music to your ears.
I
The
walked in the
antennas went
back.
up?
I walked in the back of the office and said, guys, I'm gone. And I never went back. And that was my first boss, Danny Hernandez, in the real estate world, selling condos. And here we are.
So now, when you get into business like this as a real estate agent, as a mortgage person, you're kind of like your own boss, right? You're your own CEO. Your success is dictated about what you do.
Correct.
What made you finally say, hey, I'm going to make the jump, I'm going to go out on my own, and I'm going to do my best to produce one of the biggest and best broker shops out there? What was it?
Well, here's the reality of it.
Right.
A lot different than most people. I can tell you I've had people that did 3 deals say, I get my broker's license and I want to be a broker, right? It's hard. And I would say there's a lot of luck on my side.
Right.
So when I got into this business, the Property Pros in general, I started in a small room and thought I'd just work by myself. I met a gentleman, said, hey, let me, recruit some agents. That didn't work out, but what did was I had a friend that was a handyman. And he said, I have this lady that keeps sending me work orders. And she's out of Arizona and says she owns a lot of houses. Well, she needed someone to rent the houses for her and give the first month's rent. I had no idea how big she was. What ended up happening was she interviewed me over the phone, said, you have a team? I said, absolutely, which I didn't. And a couple days later, I followed up with her and said, hey, I thought you were going to send me a couple properties. And she did. It was 38 properties. I had to go take pictures, do listing agreements, get on MLS.
Yep.
She had 1,500 homes in Central Florida alone. So what ended up happening is the name got out.
Right.
Who are these property brothers, property pros, property who, what? But our name got out because we just kept renting property after property, which led to agent after agent, and kind of snowballed from there because I took care of agents, which was a little different than a lot of other companies. I provided signs, lock boxes, open houses. I was in the office every day for a broker they could talk to. I didn't know better. It was all luck. I was just going to work every day. And
this is something that you wanted to do. You didn't feel like you were doing
I didn't
anything
want to do it.
different.
I didn't want to do it. It was total opposite of what most people get into it for. They want to build a brokerage. I built it as I went along, and everything I thought about as I built was, okay, what if I had 100 agents versus one?
Right.
So when I implemented things, I did it, and as we grew from 10 agents to 20 to 40, it just kind of flew right in, luckily.
Right.
But it's not easy. Recruiting is extremely difficult. When I was at 20 agents, I said, why do I do this? There was not a lot of money in it. It's hard to cover the bills when you got 20 agents and 5 of them are producing, but yet you have a lot of bills. There was a time where I said, I don't want to do this, but what do I do with Wendy Stewart, which was my managing broker, with Raul Otero, which bought his first Property Pros franchise from us when they were brand new agents growing.
Because
I couldn't leave them.
It's not about you anymore. It's about
once you get your first agent, and I tell a lot of people that in this real estate world is, yeah, you want to go out and be a broker, great. The first time you bring on one person, you have to have systems in place. You know, where do they upload deals? You know, how do they get paid with paid at closing forms? They want websites, they want leads. All those things have to kind of go into a mix. And what are you different? Why are you different? Why should they work with you? And it kind of just snowballed. But I took into consideration the things that when I was a new agent, I didn't have.
Right.
You know, where do you get a sign from? I didn't know. People told me I was in a neighborhood in somebody's garage getting a sign made because I didn't know where to get one.
So from your experience,
I tried to make it easy on my agents.
You know, and I'm glad you said that because, you know, a lot of people, they learn from what they've gotten from people, like role models, right? Hey, I learned by watching what they did. And I think you and I take the opposite approach, though, too. It's not like learn what to do, but learn from what not to do.
Correct.
And what you didn't have.
Yes.
And you said, hey, I didn't have this, so this is what the void was, so I'm going to go out and do it because that's what I needed. And you learn from that experience and now can bring that value to the agents that work with you now.
You nailed it. Look, when I tell you about I didn't know where to make a sign, that's true. So what do I do for my agents? We have a sign guy that holds all of our company signs, and he puts them in the ground. So our agents go on an app, order it, the guy goes out the next day, he puts a sign in the ground for our agents. They're not worried about all that. You know, our agents
it's taking something off their plate.
Taking something off
and making it easy for them.
Correct.
So what would you say is your biggest strength as a leader?
Playing sports my whole life, meaning that we're all a team. There's no... Early on in my brokerage, I had a producer that did, at the time, $10 million was, wow, we have a $10 million producer, but that agent was also running the show.
And the values of homes were much lower, so
Values
$10 million was a big deal.
That was
Still a big deal.
4 years ago,
Right.
it was a big deal. But I also learned that every time that agent sneezed, I was there with a napkin to go, can I wipe it for you? With that became a little cancerous. So I decided, you know, one thing about the Property Pros that a lot of people don't know is we're more of an army. You know, we do our production and people will say, hey, give us your $10-15 million producers, which we have a few, but most of our team are between $2 and $5 million agents.
There's a lot of consistency.
It also means if someone's a bad apple and they have to be removed, it's not going to shut down my business.
Right.
It's not going to put me in a position where, oh my gosh, I just lost a big chunk of what do I do? You know,
And
what
I think
mean?
that's key because one employee doesn't make the company. and you can't rely on that because, like you
Correct.
said, if something should happen there, you don't want to be scratching your head. What do we do? How do we handle this? And get into that whole like panic mode.
Correct. And the thing is, by taking that step back, by going, okay, that person's gone, it showed my team that I backed what I preach,
True.
my culture, my family environment. And what ended up happening was that person was gone, but 3 other people stepped up that became $10-15 million producers. We should have one of our branch managers hit 20 million this year. Possibly.
That's awesome.
You know, so sometimes you got to take a step back, what's best for the business, to move forward as a team, and that's all sports related. I played baseball my whole life. So.
And you're a Yankee fan, just like myself.
Best team in baseball
Doing
right
pretty
now.
good right now, right?
Best team in baseball. Go Yankees.
Stanton hit 2 homers last night. Judge is on fire. Pay the man, by the way, Yankees. Pay
Yes,
Judge.
Pay Judge.
Pitching is great. And,
By the way, that kid was throwing 97 very easy last night.
Gil, he was. Tried to overthrow a little bit, but that's just, your nerves, and you're in the big leagues and getting
Yeah.
a shot. So, you're in the big leagues now, man. Like, I got to say, what you're doing is fantastic.
Thank you. I appreciate
And-
that because I still see myself as a small fish.
Well,
we're boutique brokerage. And I want to stay that way.
that's being humble, and you know what though, I've always used the phrases like a VIP mortgage group too. It's not about being bigger; it's about being better.
Correct. You're
You
right.
know, and you don't want to get to a point where you lose what your foundation and your focus was, and what your values are.
Correct.
And I see that with your company.
But I see it back with you because we talk a lot. We brainstorm. How many times do we meet and sit for hours and just brainstorm about business? And,
amen to that. Even though
that's why we do business together. We do a lot of business with VIP Mortgage. The process, the loan officers that you bring in is not just, forgive me for saying, hey, you're a pretty girl, let's make you a loan officer. You
Right.
vetted your people. All your people are pretty professional.
listen, we win some, we lose some.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
Then,
We all do.
If things don't work out, there's you make that happen. Like you said, sometimes you got to remove people. That's part of business. You wish it all can work. A wise man once told me, and it was the same thing with me. It's retention is key.
Mm-hmm.
And if I had to let people go, I kind of felt like I failed.
Correct.
But-
They become family, and it's
Right.
hard to let people go.
But you know what though? It's not on you. Sometimes the things just don't work out, and you got to do things. Right?
So we're coming out. It's funny you say that, just in conversation, because I was talking to my managing broker this morning about growth as a business, and where we were when we were 10 agents is not where we are with 100 agents, because it has become a business, and it isn't such a family anymore. Even though we promote the culture and the family environment, it's to an extent.
Right. Because there's a lot of people now.
There's a
different
lot of people.
areas, different
Correct.
territories, and that's to happen.
Yes.
But the one thing that I love about you guys, and I'm trying to emulate it into VIP Mortgage Group, is just you guys have fun. You make it enjoyable that people, I don't know, oh man, I got to go to work today. Hey, I get to go to work today.
Yeah.
You have your skip days. You're on the boat. You're doing things, and you're keeping it fresh.
Yes. One thing we've done throughout from day one to now is we have certain events we do each year. One of them was always a first-time buyer seminar in February, March, which we stopped because of COVID. We didn't continue this year because, unfortunately, the first-time home buyer market is very difficult right now.
It is.
Because of the market we're in. We do a barbecue every summer for the families. It's very important that if I'm working with you, your wife understands who I am. I'm a family guy, 2 children. You're a family guy. You're out on the baseball field all the time. So it's important that your wife knows, hey, if we're out and we're networking, it happens to be 8 o'clock at night, we're out there trying to do business and
Right.
grow for our family. We do potlucks every year. We do a skip day every year. We just had a skip day over on Clearwater. We do our Christmas party every year. Is a big deal, but we do certain things. And then a lot of times throughout the years, we like to mix with vendors. Like we work with VIP and say, hey, let's do a Top Golf, where we encourage people to go, to learn about VIP, to learn about mortgages, who we're doing business with, but also as a camaraderie.
Absolutely.
That's huge for us. And I think people look for that. When we don't do it, they're like, what's going on? Where's our skip day? When is the barbecue?
They hold you accountable to that.
Right now, it's what's the date right now? We're in
May.
May, right?
Holy
Terrible,
cow.
right? I don't even know the month, but June is when my managing broker is going, Christmas party. Where's the venue? We need to lock it down. It's like, can I get through tax season?
Get through the first half of the month.
Yeah.
So now, tell me, why should people work with you all? If there's going to be agents out there, crazy market right now, might not be getting the support, from their broker, might not knowing what to do, on the fence. A lot, even in the mortgage world, a lot of people now are it's a different market, looking to change jobs, different venues, a different environment, different voice.
Okay.
Why should they come to the Property Pros?
Well, it's a cliche answer because everybody says the same thing. Broker support, tools, listing tools, things like that. So it's a cliche answer. What I do is try to tell agents, if you're thinking about a different brokerage, come sit down with me. Talk to me for an hour because I'm genuine. If your broker's not in the office every day or have some type of support, that's not good.
Right.
And that's where we're a little bit different. So I like to sit down and show people, hey, you're sitting with the broker right now. Your business plan with the company is going to be with me for 2 hours. Most people say, and they'll laugh when they see this video of my team, I call it kidnapping for their business plan because it's minimum of 2 hours. We're going to sit down. I'm going to get to know you. I'm going to get to know your family. I'm going to get to know what you like to do. What are you involved with? Now that I know all that stuff, how are we going to bring it into social media? How are we going to bring it into prospecting and circle of influence? Everything we do is one-on-one. It isn't, let's throw a pitch book at you and this is what you do. So I really try, and I consider myself a marketing person. So I like to think outside. That makes my job fun. Right. When I go, Christian, let's sit down and let's just think outside the box.
Yeah, you have to.
Yes, and we follow up the business plan with, we make our agents go in the fire on purpose for 15 days and learn MLS, learn different things, and then our manager comes in a 15-day training and cleans it all up, but we force people to learn. Once our training process, we have a 45-day training process.
Okay.
At 45 days, they meet their mentor. And at that point, all of our mentors are top producers. I have to
Been
say,
there, done that.
Because of our culture, I have to say thank you to my team because our top producers have always been drilled with the fact, pass it on. Show, we're a big
amazing
team.
Way to think.
And our top producers, they don't have to do it. They step up and go, hey, it's kind of a part-time job for me to make a little extra dollar here and there, but I'm willing to show what the company showed me and look over them for 3 deals.
And I think that's the big thing, because we've all started somewhere. Someone took us under the wing, hopefully, doing the right thing.
Yes.
And you know how it affected you, how it brought you to a certain spot in your career. Why not do it for someone else? I think it's only fitting.
When I do a business plan with agents, one of the things I say is, someone else is going to be sitting in this chair in 6 months or a year, and you're going to be sitting outside like those other guys on the MLS doing stuff. When they walk out and go, hey, can you show me how to make something on Canva? Or what is Breakthrough Broker? How do I make flyers? Take the 5 minutes. It's not going to kill you. That's how we're built. You're going to be helped. Help the next person. And
everyone wants to chip in for the
team
greater
takes
good.
That to heart.
Well, guys, you've heard it here. This is an amazing company. Anthony Billitteri.
I appreciate it.
The Don, the man, the myth, the legend, the Property Pros. How can they contact you?
Well, basically, if you want to contact me as a customer, propertyprosrealestate.com, thepropertyprosrealestate.com. or just call the office 407-879-7591. Now, if you want to be an agent, go to the propertyprosrealestate.com. There's a join our team link. Check it out. Anytime you want to meet with me, it's 100% confidential. And if you're not a fit, we're still going to shake hands, because I probably have to do, one of my agents at least, has to do a deal with you at some point. So we want to have a great reputation.
Well, I can tell you this, guys, just to close up and wrap up, they're amazing people. They're true and genuine people, which is not easy to find in any profession. And that's a testament to you, Anthony. I tell you, you inspire me. You make me want to get better.
You inspire me.
See, well,
It goes both ways.
That's the way it's,
teamwork.
That's beautiful. Thank you.
Appreciate
you. You ready to do a pizza review?
I'm ready to eat some pizza.
All right. Well, hey, stay tuned. Pizza reviews coming up. Giovanni's Lake Nona. We are here. Just two kids from Brooklyn. That's how I like to say it. Stay tuned.